Ms. Walker, give me the thumbs up. We're right at 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the September 9th, 2024 meeting of the Ashe County Board of Education. We'll start first with roll call. On my left, Ms. Janet Ward.
Present.
Ms. Polly Jones.
Present.
Dr. Kim Simmons.
Present.
Ms. Diane Elder.
Present.
Josh Roten present as well. Next on the agenda, we have the approval of the agenda. Any added or items or changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I had a question or two about some of the consent agenda items, in particular, the contracts. Could we remove those from the consent agenda?
That's fine with the, that's fine. Okay. Which two?
The developmental day contract and the one with, where is it? The MOU with the pre-employment transition services.
Okay. All right.
Diane, can you move your, they're having trouble hearing in the back because it's crowded.
Usually they don't. Shall I use my teacher voice?
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Some of you've heard it before. Is that better? Okay, got a thumbs up from Amy. I'm good.
So if you want to, we can put those. We'll put those at the end of the action items, if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Not, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I move we approve the amended agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments?
The learning through play lease was also included. I couldn't find it a minute ago, but that might be an item for discussion in closed session.
Okay,
If it's a contract. Or no?
We'll probably talk about a contract in closed session.
okay, let me back up then. So we'll pull out of the consent agenda, the developmental day contract, the MOU for the pre-employment. And then, so you add in a closed session at the end to talk about the learning through play lease, is that correct?
Would it need to be before we decided on those?
May have to pull it and then have action after that.
I
I don't know.
know.
I don't. Do you want to move the action on that after close? I don't, for the learning through play.
It might be advantageous for us to be able to discuss it in closed session.
Okay. We'll just move that after close then.
Dr. Simmons, did you have an item that you had asked about?
Yes. Are we doing closed session? Are we doing closed session? If we're doing the closed
Session, yeah.
session, we
Yeah.
can discuss it. The middle school,
Right.
okay, yes.
Okay, so let's, on the agenda, we'll pull those two items out and then have a closed session at the end after discussion.
Okay, so let me make sure
Yeah.
because I've been moving them as we
I know.
talk so that I can keep ahead of it. So the learning through play lease, the MOU pre-employment transition services, and the Ashe developmental day contract have been pulled from the consent agenda. I put those at the very end, and you want to add a closed session before the learning through play
Mhm.
Okay,
That way we won't have action on it till after.
till afterward.
With that on the amended agenda, the motion still good to approve that? Second still good? Okay. As long as my notes remember that, we'll be good. So all those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Next, we've got on the agenda, if everybody will, let's stand together and we'll repeat the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we'll go ahead and turn everything over to Dr. Cox for comments from the superintendent and success in the schools. I'll just let you keep going.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, wow, we're in September already and it's almost fall. So the leaves are starting to change and it's a little bit cooler out. I know 44 degrees this morning was a little chilly, but I'm happy to see some of the fall colors starting to emerge. And I'm also happy to see our teachers and students really settling into the school year. We've been into a lot of classrooms over the past couple of weeks. We are starting week 4 with today and seeing a lot of great things. Our teachers are really working hard. Our students are working hard. And I'm looking forward to some great things this school year as a result of it. And we'll get into some of the results from previous years. But I think it's a collective effort of the hard work that we see each and every single day among all of our staff members, from our cafeteria staff who has been working tirelessly. And gosh, we even have fresh fruits and vegetables that are coming to our schools potentially soon, to our arts teachers, and I see many of them here in this room, to our social workers who do some things behind the scene that I don't think anyone I don't think any of us truly appreciate enough on some of what we see behind the scenes with our ladies. To our finance department, who again, some of these people are not in the classrooms, but they are support roles for all of our teachers, all of our staff to help things keep running. And so I have lots of successes to highlight today. And the very first one, save changes. Okay, hold on. Save and close. Sorry, I was in there moving stuff and I don't know what I just changed. So if something ends up missing, Dr. Mo can help me out. So the first thing that we have under success in the schools is, once again, our finance department is one of the best around. And we were notified on August 16th that our finance department, that Ashe County Schools, the collective efforts of a lot of people, but mainly our finance ladies, have received the Government Finance Officers Association Excellence in Financial Report for the fiscal year of 2023 for the 12th consecutive year. I'm going to move up there for a few minutes so I can share, because we're going to have a lot of people that we come up and honor. Behind here, you guys hear me now? So Amanda Coldiron is our Chief Finance Officer, Director of Finance. I had never figured out exactly what your title is, but it's all things finance for Ashe County Schools. So Amanda, will you come up here and introduce your wonderful finance team? I think we have everybody here for at least a few minutes.
Got babies playing soccer. So,
And babies playing soccer comes first. Yes.
First is Layla Wow, she's assistant finance officer. Stand up. Then I have Cara Blevins, she does payroll and benefits.
Make sure everybody gets paid.
Very important. Elaine May, Elaine's fairly new to our team. Not been here quite a year yet. She does a phenomenal job. It's fast, it's accounts payable. She's like the jack of all trades. And Tanya Greer, she is also purchasing accounts payable. I can't say enough bit about these ladies. They're just amazing, and their work ethic is just blow you away. They never stop.
Well, there's a reason why these ladies, for the 12th consecutive year, have shown outstanding consistency and just an attention to detail. And they are the reason why not only people get paid on time, which I think is a great thing, but through our COVID years and managing hundreds of PRCs, which are they all have their own little idiosyncrasies that I think it's hard to appreciate until you get in there. They kept us on our toes and really allowed us to do some good things for kids. And that's what we're all about. And so they always put children first in their decisions, and they try to keep us they keep us balanced. So thank you. Best team in the business right there.
Still got time to make the game.
As she runs out to the soccer field.
Thanks.
See, I told you that things would start to clear out pretty quickly. So not to, we have a lot of great people in this district, not only our finance team, outstanding. Every year we have the privilege of honoring outstanding employees of the year. And every year it is very difficult to choose just one in each of those areas because amongst their peers, we're pretty deep here in Ashe County. We have a lot of good people. And so I'd like to call up the people that are actually here. I'm going to say everybody's name. And then on Monday night, next Monday night, we have a dinner to honor our employees of the year, district employees of the year. And we'll get to say a little bit more about them at that point in time. But please join us up here. Lindsay Williams is our principal of the year, and she is principal of Ashe County Early College High School. And I can't say enough good things about Lindsay and her wonderful leadership. She has been in Ashe County schools for a long time and served at several schools and in various different roles. And she is a math guru, both in the classroom, but also with data and other things. But she leads the early college. And this year, our district teacher of the year is also from the early college, Mr. Jim Ashley. And not just at the early college, but he also teaches at Ashe County High School as well. And outstanding math teacher. I might wait a second. Not just that, then you were also a custodian at Mountain View. And I'm sure I've missed a few, but you drive a bus. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. And when we say people wear many hats in this district, we're not kidding, but our teacher of the year is one of many who serves in many different capacities. We're really proud of him. And he sings.
Thing, yeah.
No, I couldn't let that one go because when you're singing about, what was it?
Good looking women.
Anyway, he did a fantastic job at our convocation, recruited a teacher and a student to sing with him. And I think purposely hid it from me, but I laughed alongside everybody else as he was singing about boogers.
And Henry is still singing about boogers.
I'm sure he is. I think that's every second grader's dream song, as he kindly pointed out to honor our second grade teachers during convocation. But Jim Ashley is our teacher of the year for the district, and rightfully so. Andy Cirillo could not be with us tonight. He is our rookie teacher of the year. And we're really proud of him. He actually came from industry, so teaching was not his first profession, and he is an obviously outstanding math teacher to be a district beginning teacher of the year. And we just really appreciate him in the classroom, has a great rapport with kids, and he knows his math too. So here, math. There's a trend here. Mandy Keziah is our support staff of the year, but she is all things, all things. I was in her classroom, the media center with like 100 kids in it the other day and a bunch of other teachers. And I'm sorry that I interrupted your class because I think I was more of a disruption than a help that day. But they were doing their school-wide read, which I'm really proud that they continue to do that. She also has a reading walk at her school, which they change out every once in a while. And so I've been with her class a few times as they have enjoyed the outdoors and enjoyed each other and especially enjoyed reading. And we, of course, love it that that our teachers and especially people like Mandy, it really inspire the love of reading for our kids. Roxanne Gilbert, CTE Teacher of the Year And I remember one of your students came up so excited that they had passed their, was it CNA, something or other test, just ecstatic. And you know, she's one of these teachers who truly provides not just life skills, but true academic thinking skills, employs it every day with her kids. And I'm really proud of our CTE department, and she represents them very, very well. We can't wait to see where you go next with that honor. Fran Franca, Exceptional Children's Teacher of the Year, Exceptional Children Educator of Excellence is the actual title, could not be here today with us. And then Mr. Tim Walton, our Classified Employee of the Year. And Tim is somebody who has been with Ashe County Schools for quite some time. But I'll tell you, talk about consistency and keeping things running at a school. And I mentioned earlier, all those things that happen behind the scenes that are often unappreciated, we just expect them to be there. Well, Tim is the reason. And so thank you, Tim, for making the school look so beautiful and for help keeping it run smoothly. We've really appreciated it. It's the reason why our schools stay up here. So thank you. And so congratulations to each of you, and we'll be honoring you next week with our Dinner of Excellence. So congratulations to everybody.
Sure.
Check hard.
See, yep, you gotta remind me.
Well deserved.
Thing she had. Check course.
Thank you.
That's my dog. I mean,
Whatever that is. Yeah, that would be better. No, it's not.
Thanks for watching.
They won. They won.
Give a plug for that. Give a plug for education. Actually. Well, sure.
So next on the list of good things to share, see, I love sharing good things. This is fun for me. Are our endowment grant recipients. Now, the Board of Education has seen the list. We've also, they've actually approved the list of these grants to be provided to teachers, but it was before school started. And so we didn't want to bring you out of your summer break to honor you. And of course, some of you, whenever when we finally have our endowment golf tournament, will come and speak to those that play golf so that we can do cool things in schools. But as I call your name, not everybody could be here, but as I call your name, please come up. First of all, Autumn Chamberlain, I know you're in attendance. Come on up, Autumn. And she is a social worker for our elementary students. And forgive me because I have no idea which schools you're at this year, because I know we changed them a little bit.
I'm at Westwood, Mountain View, and the early.
We'll come back to you in a second. Colleen Dixon, I think is here. There's Colleen.
And she's another one of our outstanding media coordinators. And I think Jorina Sparks, I think the two of you, is Jorina here?
She is not here this evening.
Okay, very good. And the two of you wrote did you guys write one together?
We did.
Okay, so would you like both of you share with about your grants that you wrote and some of the cool things that you're getting ready to do or have already done in your classrooms?
So we actually, our grant is a knitting grant. We started a knitting club after school, and today was our first session. And so we have different sessions and they run for 4 weeks, and we're teaching students to knit on a knitting loom. And they're actually making 2 hats, one they can keep and then one we're donating to a local charitable organization so somebody else can share them.
Can you share this?
So mine encompasses the 3 elementary schools, but at the time I was serving all 3. It will still serve all 3. Our other school social workers will do the Blue Ridge, part of the grant, but it will involve small groups in our first social emotional learning for 5th and 6th grade students. It's an 8-week program where students will meet with me once a week, and they'll be working on things like growth mindset, self-esteem, building, coping skills and responsibility.
So these are two of our grant winners. Jennifer Miller, a science teacher from Ashley County High School. Tanya Denny, media coordinator, who I see is here today. So Tanya, come on up. Tanya wrote the grant with Matthew Reisig, math teacher at the high school. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to share with us about the grant that you guys wrote together?
Yes, we wrote this grant for his computer science class, and we have purchased a new 4-color filament 3D printer and also a resin printer. And so this is my first time ever resin printing, and if you know anything about resin printing, come and help me. I'm learning a lot.
Well, the next person that might know a little bit about 3D printing is Luke Eggers. So come on up, Luke. You're on my list is next. How perfect of an introduction that was. And so Luke he does Project Lead the Way at Ashe County Middle School and all things CTE, and has those really cool. So when we see the new middle school up and coming to fruition, Luke was at quite a few of our meetings as we were working on the designs, especially for that nice little cool area right outside of your classroom, which I cannot wait. Should be fantastic. That's right. Luke, you want to share about your project?
It's going to be an after-school focused club on coding and programming, focusing on middle grades levels, video game design at first, and then moving to microcontrollers, and then moving to text-based programming towards the end. Trying to just do a survey for them.
And we're hoping that they get really excited about computer programming for a lot of reasons. But one of many of those reasons is that it will become a high school graduation requirement to have some sort of computer programming, starting with, what is it, this year's freshmen? Next year's freshmen?
26, 27.
26 years, so 2 years from now. Okay, I'm a little ahead of myself, but that's okay. We're preparing for it, and the students at the middle school who are exposed are going to be set perfectly to achieve that when they get there. But also, it's important for the job market. I mean, computer programming is everywhere in just about every segment of our jobs. And so Ashe County Schools is keeping up with that job market and hopefully getting students to be innovators and thinkers so that we can surpass any of those expectations we might have. Corey Richardson is an exceptional children's teacher at Ashe County Middle School. I don't think that she could be here today. Kelly Holloman, media coordinator at the middle school, is here. And she's also in the literacy committee for the middle school, and I think inspired her grant. Would you like to share a little bit about your grant?
It's money for another school library. We're gonna do the book room. And it falls right in line with 8th grade social studies curriculum with Homefront and World War II. And our 7th grade is we're gonna have a guest speaker, and she's gonna come speak to our 8th graders about that aspect of her book. And then with our 7th graders, she does an amazing discussion about being offered 7th graders. So we're excited to have her in March.
Fantastic. Think of how many people that you're going to inspire, how many kids you'll inspire with just the love of reading, and to be able to speak with an author who can share with them some personal stories about how they created that story. I think it's fantastic. Casey Jones is a 7th grade science teacher at the middle school, and Casey also another one of our teachers. Casey, would you like to share?
We're doing Words to Worlds, and it focuses with a book called Dry, and it's going to do environmental issues about drought, and then their culminating activity is going to be create terrariums.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, can I come create a terrarium too with you? That sounds like fun. Anytime we can get hands-on with kids and read and inspire them to love science. I'm a science girl, so I just think that that's fantastic. And I love the way our teachers are working, not just within their own classroom, but expanding it out to many other students as well. Jonathan Green is an English teacher at Ashe County Early College. Jonathan, would you like to share your grant?
Sure. My grant is going to focus on literature circles, in which each book that the student reads is like a mystery novel. And the goal is to use textual evidence, use scenes from the book to focus on who the culprit is. And what we'll be doing in each of their groups, they will, how detectives have like a wall with like pictures and stuff like that, and they put the strings together. That's what we're going to create. Their goal is to put all the pieces together and figure out the mystery before the detectives do.
Fantastic. That sounds like a lot of fun. Also, Rachel Bledsoe, 8th grade ELA and social studies teacher at the middle school. I don't think was supposed to be here today. Did I miss her? Okay, good. Holly Bradley, music teacher at Blue Ridge Elementary School. I think I saw her. Okay, good. You're hiding. There you go. Let me say something about Ms. Bradley before she talks. Some of the most outstanding performances that I have seen since I've been here in Ashe County Schools are because of Miss Bradley at Blue Ridge. Absolutely top notch. And she can get first graders, which I was in a first grade class, several first grade classrooms on Friday afternoon. And our teachers were doing an amazing job with them trying to teach math at 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And Miss Bradley just seems to teach music with ease. So Ms. Bradley, would you like to tell about your grant?
Sure. I wrote a grant to get 25 pianos so that I can teach piano to all of Blue Ridge. And the students that already play a bit of piano, they have a leadership opportunity to help the other students that are working.
Fantastic. Amanda Bloomer. And Amanda is a school counselor at Westwood. And I think she wrote a grant with Julie Jones, school counselor at Blue Ridge Elementary School. Oh, there you are. And Amy Salas, come on up, all three of you. Counselor at Mountain View Elementary School. So Amanda and Amy, would you like to share your grant?
Sure. We wrote a grant to provide resources to help support the mental health needs of our students. In our classrooms, we have calm corners. So some of the resources will go to supporting more items for that, as well as helping in our classrooms when we provide individual and small groups. And then also some stuff for parents.
We're also going to do kits that parents can check out and give them information so that they can kind of help their student at home on regulation or regulating their emotions and helping them learn the skills that will hopefully make them successful.
Thank you. And India Souther and Olivia Johnson, 3rd grade teachers at Mountain View Elementary School. Come on up. Hi. Would you share, please, about your grant?
Sure. Mine is for to enhance our 3-6 playground by adding Foursquare, kickball, and fitness back, so the students can play.
So please give each of them a round of applause. I want to commend each of you because not only do you go above and beyond in your roles here for Ashe County Schools, you do that in something you didn't have to do. You took extra time out of your day to care enough for kids that you put words to paper to write about these great things that you're getting ready to do, and then you're going to put them to action. So we really appreciate it. I hope you invite us into your classroom or your school so that we can actually see it in action. But thank you, because that's very commendable to go above and beyond. All right, thank you all. Did I get everybody? Amy's going to get your picture outside too.
Dr. Cox?
Yes.
One thing I think, I'll let Ms. Eldridge talk to this, the money is raised through the endowment golf tournament that's in October now, so there's still time for teams, I would say.
October the 16th is when we have rescheduled, when we, our first day, it was so soggy, they wouldn't let us on the green. So we had to redo. So I'm hoping that all of you will try to come and form a team. And while we're talking about that, I want us to remember Joyce Kilby. I miss Joyce tonight. She always loved to come to present the endowment, but she's had some health issues. So keep her in your prayers because she is a vital part of our endowment committee that we have. So come support us and we'll get some more money for all of these lovely teachers to do some great stuff. And I do want to see some of this, okay?
And if anybody out there would like to play golf or would like to sponsor a team or a cart or lunch or whatever it is that we need for those days, we could use the extra support for our Ashe County Schools teachers. So just call the central office or you can email me and I'll be happy to get you the information on our endowment golf tournament.
Because I think we sort of switched gears. It's time to do it.
So I think this is perfect timing because we have 3 new faces sitting up here with the Board of Education. So I'm going to ask that each of them come up here. I'm going to share their names and where they're from. And if they don't mind, I'm going to put you on the spot and just say, well, let me let you say a little bit about yourselves. And we had 2 of them that were victorious in their tennis matches today. And I do want to brag on one of them. So Addison let me know that she was going to be at the game after, she was going to be at the board meeting after she won. And so I was like, I love that confidence. Good girl. All right. So first of all, we have, we'll start with Addison. Addison Dollar. Yeah, you can just stand up where you are is fine. And so Addison is the vice president of the student body for Ashe County Early College, and she is essentially our alternate for the board. I think she will be joining us when she can. And she is a junior at Ashe County Early College. And so next is Sarah McClure. So our 2 outstanding tennis players here who both were victorious today. Sarah is the student body president at Ashe Early College High School. And so both of these outstanding students are also student athletes and have made this commitment to joining the board as a student representative. And then finally, last but certainly not least, Carson Pruitt, who is the student body president at Ashe County High School. And all 3 of them come highly recommended by their principals. I'm sure that if I were to ask anybody else within their schools, they would say the same thing. Would you all like to share any words today? Today we're kind of getting your feet wet. I'm going to have you shake the hands of the board members, but if you would like to say a word, I'm going to give you the microphone. Come on up. You got this.
I believe in you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carson Pruitt. Clearly not one of the tennis players this evening. I was on time. I was ready to have a pretty serious. I'm student body president at the high school, also creative writing president, which I'm very passionate about. I'm excited that you've allowed us to be here to share our voices and to kind of be your eyes and ears in the school system itself as a student with a student's mind. So very fortunate to be here today.
Either of you would like to speak? You can. And if you do not want to, it's okay. This is an intimidating mic. I mean, you have to eat it you have to get real close to it. You're okay. So if you guys would like to shake the hands of the board members.
Congratulations. So happy to have you.
And again, 3 outstanding students who I would be happy to put in a room with any adult at any occasion because they are just outstanding students, outstanding people in general. So thank you for being here. Give them another round of applause. So tonight's getting their feet wet, sitting here, getting a feel for the board, but then we will meet and see what they would like to get out of this opportunity. This is the very first time that we have student representatives on the Board of Education. They are non-voting members, but we do want to hear student voice. And so we appreciate the board for voting to allow this to happen, this opportunity, and hopefully we can grow it into something that I think everybody appreciates. So next, I have Rebecca Williams here. So Rebecca Williams is the program director of the Ashe County Arts Council, and I told her that I would give her the mic and I put her a little space here on the board agenda under good things because this is Arts and Education Week. So you want to come on up?
Good evening. Thank you for letting me have a moment of your time. And I'm gonna boot my computer up just a second here. I forgot what I printed at the Art Center. So, it's National Arts and Education Week. And from September 9th through the 13th, 2024, we would like for you to join us at the Ashe County Arts Council and advocate across the nation in celebrating the transformative power of arts education. National Arts in Education Week highlights the critical role the arts play in education, advocating for equitable arts across access for students across all backgrounds. With increasing concerns about student mental health, loneliness, and the need for social emotional learning, arts education offers creative solutions that help students thrive, both academically and personally. This week was designed to promote and showcase the immense role arts education has in producing engaged, successful, college and career-ready students. So I would like to take just a moment to acknowledge all of our cultural arts teachers in Ashe County schools. At the Ashe County High School, Amber Dillingham, Parker Dula, Shane Green, Steve Lewis, and Caitlin Hodge. Jill Gamble and Savannah Labasi at the Ashe County Middle School. Catherine Green and Tiffany Mash at Westwood Elementary. Elizabeth Hatch and Polly Bradley at Blue Ridge Elementary. And Kristen Kreider and Jarena Sparks at Mountain View Elementary. I would personally like to take this opportunity to thank them for their hard work and their dedications. I ask you as school administrators, school personnel, as the Board of Education, Superintendent's Office, to take one moment this week in your schools to acknowledge those teachers. Those folks see every student over a 4-day period or 5-day period. It's important that arts education be acknowledged and celebrated in your schools. Thank you, Dr. Cox, for your time. Thank you, all of you, and y'all have a very nice day.
Thank you, Rebecca. And I wanted to just say again, we did highlight Miss Bradley already today, who is another one of those outstanding arts teachers. We have a lot of teachers that go above and beyond, and our arts teachers, we cannot leave them out of that conversation. So the next thing we'd like to highlight as a great thing is Debbie Sturgill, who is not here today. But Debbie Sturgill is a culinary teacher at Ashe County High School, and she was named the Culinary Educator of the Year, was afforded the opportunity to attend the National Pro Start Professional Development in New Orleans, Louisiana, sponsored by the National Restaurant Association, Associated Educational Foundation from July 12th through the 17th. While there, she participated in culinary labs hosted by the New Orleans Culinary and Hospitality Institute. In addition to picking up a wealth of culinary knowledge for her Pro Start competition team, she successfully passed her Pro Start Professional Development exam, which is a really big deal. We're really proud of Ms. Sturgill and appreciate her hard work. She's promised some New Orleans style tasting opportunities this year. So I can't wait to see when those days are coming in her classroom. In fact, I say I'm Toucan Sam, which those of you who are my age or older probably remember those old cartoons. And I just follow my nose at Ashe County High School all the way to Debbie Sturgill's class because it always smells so great. I know when they're cooking. So we're proud of Ms. Sturgill again and congratulating her not only for what she brings back to the classroom, but what she continually learns herself, which I know is passed on to her students. So congratulations, Ms. Sturgill. So here comes something that I always have mixed feelings on, which are our testing results. Because I know as we highlight them and all the great things that we do in the classroom, I also know that we're certainly not highlighting everything when we talk about the test results that happen in Ashe County schools. So Ashe County Schools, however, having said that, has done really well once again this school year on the 2023-24 testing results, and placing us once again in the top 10 of 115 public school districts across the state of North Carolina. And I'm going to say some good things, and then I'm going to say what I don't like about testing, because there's some things that we just miss, right? So not only are we in the top 10 districts, I mean, tiny little Ashe County in the mountains of North Carolina competes with Chapel Hill, Carborough, and some of the other bigger school districts throughout our state. We are #1 in the state in 6th grade math. #1 in the state in 8th grade all tests. 100% of our elementary and middle schools met or exceeded growth. We're #1 in the region and #3 in the state in 7th grade math. #1 in the region and #3 in the state in 5th and 8th grade science. #1 in the region and #4 in the state in grades 3 through 8 math. And we're #1 in the region and #8 in the state in high school ACT. On top of that, our graduation rate as a district has grown to the highest rate that it has ever been at 88.89%. And so the state doesn't round up, so it's 88.89. And so if it cuts off that 9, there's a reason. But we are continually not only providing our students with a wonderful, high expectations, well-rounded education, as you can see by all the things that our teachers do for kids, but also graduating a lot of our kids with high numbers of successes. So one of the reasons, not only that, our middle school, not only did they have lots of those big accolades, but they rank in the top 3% of all schools in North Carolina for academic growth. Huge. And so I want to say that, first of all, first of all, thank you to the board. You guys helped us set the tone for what happens within our schools. Thank you to our teachers who day in and day out are on the front lines with our kids, helping to ensure that they have what they need to be successful and that they are learning and they have high expectations for them, that they're teaching them the standards in engaging ways, they're giving them feedback, all the things that we really want for our children, our teachers in Ashe County do for our kids. I put my kid anywhere. In fact, I did. I had a kid who graduated from Ashe County Early College High School who happened to have outstanding teachers here. But it's important to recognize that the state testing covers only a small portion of the subjects and courses that are actually taught in schools. We have math, mostly in our elementary and middle schools, and then we have Math 1 and then Math 3 in high school. We have reading, one in our elementary schools, middle, and then English 2 at the high school. We have biology, 8th grade science, and 5th grade science that are tested. But we're missing a lot of subjects here. And I'm not advocating for testing more subjects and more kids, not at all. But what I'm saying is when you see these test results, although we do very well, there are a lot of other teachers who may not have their name beside a test score that really matter. A lot of times they are the glue that holds the school together. A lot of times those are the teachers that keep kids coming back. A lot of times that's the reason why kids show up to school. So there are a lot of reasons why I have a problem with the way we test and rate our schools. And even though our schools do really well, there's a lot of things that we miss in that. And let me tell you about some of those things that are not included. I mean, our lunch ladies serving fresh fruits and vegetables and providing thousands and thousands of meals to keep our students fed and going throughout the day. Our bus drivers who drive thousands and thousands of miles. I don't remember how many times around the sun. I think Earl calculated that for me at one point in time, and I don't even know what that is, about the number of miles that they drive to get our kids to and from school. All of that matters. All of that matters. But over the past 4 years, Ashe County School students have excelled in career and technical education, not included on this test score, right? Earning 6,116 industry-recognized credentials, preparing them for future employment. That's in 4 years. That's a lot of credentials. That's a lot of happy employers who know that they can trust the kids that Ashe County sends to them. During the same period, 120 students completed an associate degree or certificate from Wilkes Community College while in high school. That's amazing, guys. 93% of the students who enter Ashe County Early College, and these are including kids at the high school too, who complete during a traditional education, an associate degree from Wilkes Community College. That's outstanding. Our exceptional children in the Occupational Courses Study Program complete, in addition to the rigorous curriculum, over 600 work-based learning hours each, in order to finish the requirements of a high school diploma for an Occupational Courses Study student. I don't think many people realize the rigor that goes into what our kids do in order to get a high school diploma. In the 2023 school year alone, 234 high school students completed at least one class at our community college, with over 150 students earning college credit in math or science courses, setting them on a pathway to post-secondary success. And so I wanted to say we have two people here in this room. Caleb Marsh, Dr. Caleb Marsh, if you wave to everybody. He is I don't know what your title is, Dean of the Ashe Campus something, I don't know, for Wilkes Community College. Well, we know him as the head guy here in Ashe, and a great partner for our success, and he works with us so that we can make students' schedules match so that more students can participate and just have at their fingertips all the things that Wilkes Community College has to offer. And then we have a brand new face. Please stand up. Coming from Kentucky.
You got it.
All right, so you've been here since June.
98 days.
98, oh wow, okay.
Not that I'm counting.
Not that you're counting. So this is our new Wilkes Community College president. Dr. Rogers is, I'm looking forward to working alongside him and making sure that this partnership continues and is expanded. And I know he has great ideas for Wilkes Community College. But I just want to say thank you. We've got some MOUs that are on the board agenda today, and I know they came here to show their support. But all of these achievements, thank you, Dr. Rogers, all of these achievements result because of the collective hard work and communication and guidance and care for our students that come from a lot of different sources, our parents and our community, our teachers, our staff. There are a lot of people that care about the kids here in Ashe County schools from the time before they enter our pre-K until the time they walk across that stage to graduate. Thank you, because it's you who helps to make Ashe County schools a great place to work and a great place to learn, but it's also you who helps to make sure that the kids attain that success, whatever that is for them, once they reach beyond that graduation stage. So thank you, and know that while our test results are good, and we have some things to work on, and we will continue to work on those, not everything is reflected in here. And so arts and history and CTE and music and physical education, gosh, the athletics that the students get to participate in and clubs and all the other things. I just wanted to say that there's a lot that goes into school and a lot that's not reflected in these scores. But I'm proud of every one of them. And I hope that you all know that everyone who contributed is the reason why our kids are so successful. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cox. Next, we've got on the agenda is public comment. We don't have anyone for public comment, so we'll just jump right into new middle school updates. Miss Allison Kemp Sullivan, I see her back there. While she's coming up, we had a great day the other day, breaking ground at the new middle school. We get to throw a little dirt with those shovels. It was a great day and had good weather for it too.
Yeah, if you look on that hill now, there's really some stuff going on.
Good to see.
I will be brief. There is a lot going on, but don't get too excited because we're going to be working and then we're going to sort of slow down for the winter. But they are cutting trees. That's continuing. Erosion control devices are going in, silt fence, diversion ditches, that kind of thing. Some of the materials for the temporary sediment basins have been delivered. We have received comments from Department of Insurance and some comments from DPI. And so the design team are working on those. Benoit Construction have completed their pre-qualification of contractors for GMP2. We have been coordinating drawings between GMP2 and GMP3. There are 400 sheets between the two sets of drawings. We have been spending hours and hours. We had 2 meetings last week. I think there was 8 hours between those 2 meetings. We sat going through those drawings. They are going to be advertising in October. Bid opening for GMP2 will be in the 10th of October is what they're looking towards for GMP2. So the work on this first phase will get everything stabilized after all the tree clearing is finished and things will sort of be in a lull during the winter time. But it is exciting to see. It's fun to go out there and see everything happening. So it's like first day of school for me. It's very exciting. So does anybody have any questions?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your reports, Allison.
We'll go ahead and jump into action items for the board. First item under action that we have are the approval of the minutes. And those are the minutes for the August 5th meeting, as well as the special call board meeting in August as well. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Next, we've got the personnel agenda. Dr. Moken, anything you have on that?
I hope that you all saw I had to add an addendum. As we did have someone to resign, someone to
Does anybody have any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the personnel agenda and the addendum.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion, we approve the personnel agenda and the addendum.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Next, we've got the consent agenda. And I think I've updated everything here on there. Under the consent agenda, we have Ashe County Schools and Wilkes Community College annual MOU, the Ashe CTE and WCC local articulation, the MOU with Grand Canyon University, a request for approval for overnight trips for the ACHS Outdoor Club, permission for overnight travel to the National FFA Convention, request for overnight field trip, a App Health MOU, and a MOU with Ashe County DSS. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, go ahead.
I'm just interested in the one LSU. Do we know someone there?
So we have, we do have a student who wants to.
social worker aid.
Social work.
I just thought it was interesting.
Oh, LSU, we're voting on that later.
Um,
I thought you meant Grand Canyon, sorry. Okay. Bye.
Well,
Wait, and typically what happens is when we get these, Dr. Moken or whomever is under that over the department, will take a look at it. It's usually one of our current employees, oftentimes who is completing an advanced degree. And so therefore we join into an MOU so that they, with their university, a lot of times it's online when it's these random universities as well. And sometimes it's somebody in the community who this is the closest place. And so we do all the same background checks that we would and engage with as they were ours.
Well, we did have a student that did her master's at LSU and is working for the state of Louisiana and the IU, whatever they are.
I have a question. Is the request for overnight field trips separate from the outdoor club? Okay.
Yeah, one of them's for the AP biology class and similar to what Mr. Rollins is here if you'd like to. I don't know whether there's any question or not.
Want me to go now?
Yeah, I mean, if there's any question, I think.
Well, on the agenda, it just says overnight field trip. You got to click on it. It's the AP biology class from the high school.
Yeah, I couldn't, mine didn't go down that far. It would go.
I was just reading highlights. I didn't click on it as I went through.
We're good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carried. Next, we've got a policy for service animals in schools. Ms. Richardson.
And we do have a current policy that needed updated. And we want to make sure that we do have a couple of requests out there and potential for additional ones. And we just wanted to make sure we had the most updated policy on the books. And this one hadn't been updated times.
And we're conversing with Mr. Johnson, our board attorney, that this was a state policy that we like to see if you all would adopt. It does, coincide with the ADA, American Disabilities Act, and federal regulations and guidelines to have and service, animals in schools.
I can remember us having a discussion about a request that was made before we adopted a new policy. Dr. Simmons, you do that. So where are we time-wise on this? Because if we've had a request made, should we not be going under the current policy instead of the newer updated policy, because we have not done that. We did that once before this last year.
The request that was made is a year out, but we also have to be prepared for any request I have at any time.
And yeah, we've already consulted with School Boards Association with our policy review, and it is in, and let them know that this is something that we, it's way behind, I guess, in number of years since the policy has been entertained. The new policy is what follows federal and state ADA guidelines. So there's not a choice for us to make within this policy. It's just updated based on current law that is both federal and state law. And so this keeps us knowing that there are potential requests out there or requests that are coming. We wanted to make sure that there wasn't any confusion by having the most updated policy available for people to look at. I talked with Fred Johnson again this morning, and he shared that the state policy from the School Boards Association is the standard policy, and there's really not a lot of choice for a board to make within that policy.
There's no flexibility.
There's no flexibility, yeah.
It just keeps us ahead.
Well, and then there's no confusion when someone asks and, they want to bring a seeing eye alligator and we only allow dogs. I'm being really facetious with that, but you can get other requests that are outside your traditional dog that would be specialized or trained, and that's more than likely what we would see. But other places have had different requests, and I think the policy that's in there currently even mentions puppies, and we no longer would have to do that.
Since this is a different policy, do we need our 30 days to consider this
The
policy?
board doesn't have to. We can adopt it at any time on there.
You know me, I like for everybody to look at it and think about it before we do something.
I think our hands are tied on this one as far as no change, no choice on it.
Flexibility. And I did read through it, found it clear and easy to follow instructions. So
It's somewhat different than the other one.
But what I'm hearing is we cannot change it.
To my knowledge, there's not a thing that's
State and federal.
correct.
That's what we'll be following, and we always, so we're under the advisement of our board attorney.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the public service animals policy and schools policy.
I move we approve the service animals in schools policy number 4202.
Do I have a second? Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you so much. Next, we've got the Go Guardian and Gaggle contracts there. I had to read that very carefully, so I didn't say Google or something else.
Yeah. So I want to clarify, normally we do not bring smaller contracts like this before our board, but this one is a little bit different. We have been funded some ESSER monies. First of all, I'll start out with the Gaggle one. We've been awarded some ESSER monies that are earmarked for a specific purpose. And
So we're taking that money and entering a 2-year contract for the gaggle, so we can expend those funds before the September 30th deadline. So that's a little out of the norm, going to a 2-year contract. We've looked, we're gonna expend about all but 3,000 of that little pot, or that pot. And, Jamie and I worked really hard with Lakin today, trying to find ways that we can, fit that other 3,000 somewhere. Because the line items that they give you that you can spend it out of are very small, and they're really hard to fit with anything. And although 3,000 means a lot of money, 3,000 in the world of technology is very minimum amount of money, and it has to, like I say, it's just very, very small window of opportunity there. So, I wanted that recorded in our board minutes that it is a 2-year contract in case we ever run into a situation there. The other, program is for a security service called Go Guardian. And we've had a lot of requests from our schools to implement this program. My only concern was our sustainability of it. And that's another reason I'm bringing it before you tonight is DPI has offered us the opportunity to move forward with that program. And at first it was that we were going to move forward with it they were going to subsidize the amount. We didn't know how much, we didn't know for how long. There was no promise of continuity. There still is not. They have offered us the program for this year at no cost. So we are moving forward with Go Guardian. My concern is it is an expensive program, so I'm concerned about the sustainability after this year if DPI does not at least subsidize it for us. I think we're moving forward with 5th through, not knowing, what the cost was going to be. I went with 5th through 12th grades, and so the cost for this year for 5th through 12th is about $13,000. So that's where we could be next year if we continue it at that rate, in the same grade level. And if they don't subsidize. So I just bring it before the board because I feel like it's a program our teachers and our principals, administration, they may like. I think it does have some good security features to it, but the concern of sustainability is there. So we might want to look, but the problem is sometimes I didn't even know till this week for sure that we had it and had to push hard to get a contract that I could get to y'all, tonight. That's a concern moving forward with the budget for next year, as I don't know when I would know if we're going to receive any subsidy at all or none. So, but with your permission, we will move forward with Go Guardian with a 1-year contract at no cost, and Gaggle with a 2-year contract, and implement the ESSER funds of which we can use for nothing else.
I would like to ask our students to put them on the spot, what they think about Gaggle, since they've probably heard about it or know kids that have used Gaggle. What do you think, guys?
So Gaggle, let me tell you guys, Gaggle is a program that runs in the background, and it is constantly searching the drives in your email system, your Google system, looking for keywords such as harm, bully, gun, knife, suicide, kill, threat, those kinds of things. So that's what it does. And it informs administrators, myself, and the student services personnel. So if there was something that was going on in a conversation with students, we hopefully get notified.
Do you know if it works on like personal devices? Like if you're connected to like Wilkes Community, you connect to the Wi-Fi, does it still work on my MacBook?
Only if you're in your Google account. That's the only thing we can access. It's through your Google. It kind of runs just very quietly in the background.
So,
If you use foul language or something like that, we also get, we get alerted to that as well. That's not often. If it is, it's usually in the younger grades. Sometimes some of the false reports we might get would be some type of book report that they're doing.
that might trigger, a hunting or something like that, that might trigger a false report. But we have had several, I won't say not necessarily threatening, but probably some concerning, mental health or, home issues, things like that. It gives us a good opportunity to let our counselors know that maybe that student needs to speak with someone or have a little counseling.
It's not against the law, Ms. Jones.
Not invading privacy.
Do you know anybody that uses the Go Guardian? Any other district?
There are several districts that use it. It comes highly recommended. The middle school, actually, Dr. Moken can talk about it because she used it last year.
Okay.
And the teachers were most appreciative because they could lock down the computer to where only the things that they wanted students to be on were there. So they didn't have to worry about gaming or look, anything that was going on in the background. It was strictly what they wanted them to look at. So Ms. Hines, if you want to chime in.
Yeah, they can set the stage for their classrooms, they can give the kids, like if they wanted that to be on Canvas, they wanted that to be on SchoolNet. The kids couldn't go and look at any other website. So when you have one teacher to 24 kids, they're pretty good about being able to open up those tabs and have them. So it was just a way for the teacher to be able to have more control on what the kids were doing while they were in their class.
And our teachers were so appreciative.
They miss it right now.
So yeah, I was over there the other day and one of them come in, are we gonna get our Go Guardian? So.
You can't beat free to test that. I mean.
They were speaking my language when those zeros come up.
Yeah, those
And Amanda's
zeros,
too.
the only thing I caution is that the numbers that we saw were about double what we were expecting them to be, what DPI is actually paying for them. Is that correct?
They were fairly, the cost is pretty extensive, and I'm afraid when we get people hooked, I'm just concerned about it. It's something anything our teachers want and what helps them in the instructional environment, I am all about. I do worry about the cost, though, and I want you to be aware of it because it could be something we need to look at. If it works out real well, we get positive reviews from it, we could look at providing it in our budget some more for next year.
You said estimated 13,000, or that's what they're paying this year?
That's what this year's cost was for 5th through 12th.
Right.
Now, if we have to lower up our numbers to go down to 3rd grade through 12th, then yeah, we could be looking at 17,000 for a year.
I think it's worth the $13,000 if we pay it.
It's a nice instructional tool. And a safety tool. It has some safety components as well.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve Go Guardian and Gaggle contracts.
I move that we approve the 2 computer contracts.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got 2 seconds, we're good. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we've got the request for approval of the Ashe County Schools Early Literacy Plan.
How are y'all? We are here to ask for approval of our 2024-25 literacy plan for kindergarten through 3rd grade, which is mandated by House Bill 387 in the state of North Carolina. And it's essentially the same as last year. The one last year was approved with no recommendations from the state, so we were real proud of that. And what we changed, I guess updated this year, was our adoption. Our new plan. So that's really the only change that's on.
Any questions?
Is everybody still using Haggerty?
Yes. It's a pre-K through 2 this year, not 3rd grade. We kind of phased out of 3rd grade.
So the SOR, where is it incorporated at? In
The
Witten
whole thing is science.
Like everything you see on there is science and reading. It hits all the strands of the road, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
From word recognition to language comprehension. Getting it all.
So how much of that is included in wit and wisdom?
Wit and wisdom is all language comprehension. Strand of the road. And also writing, which is not part of the writing, but it has a lot of writing in it.
Thank goodness.
Yes,
Glad
that's what we
about
said
that.
too.
That was one of the reasons why they liked it so much.
Yes.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve this Ashe County Schools Early Literacy Plan.
I make a motion that we approve the early literacy plan.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments?
I see one more question that I'd written out here. It's on a different page. Who's going to be doing the interventions now? The same, are we having the same format that we've had before with the interventions? Or are we, I understand we're not doing as many small groups now. We're doing more larger groups, especially in the younger grades. Is that?
They're still gonna have some small groups. It's not gonna look the same as what we traditionally have been used to. When I say guided reading groups, but that's part of form. You're talking about intervention. That's gonna be something that's gonna be on top of form. And that's gonna be set up the same way. Teachers run interventions, teacher assistants do, tutors, and our specialists.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Thank you.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you all. See Miss Little coming up. We've got mental health training plan. Lots of plans.
All require approval.
Mhm.
Yes, good evening. So this is our yearly mental health training plan. Back in 2021, the state decided that we needed to have something very explicit and consistent across the state. And so on even years, you have to do so many hours of training, and on odd years, you have to do so many years. And so each year we just have to update you. And so the attached document just goes through. This is an even year, so our number of hours is not the 6 full hours, it's about 3 hours, which is helpful. We are able to do that through vector training for all employees. Now, it is not the most, engaging and enriching learning that you'll ever have, but it does fulfill the need. Our teachers are able to earn comp time over the summer to complete those modules. There are some really good opportunities that I'm looking into for other years coming up to be able to meet that need. But being able to train all the teachers and cover substitutes and that kind of stuff is pretty difficult. But anyway, this is just our plan, updated for this school year. And then you also have to include our suicide risk protocol, which is also attached there as well. And then there's also a plan that goes into the state, which I have submitted. It's due the 15th. And this has to be submitted and approved by the 15th. So it's just be compliant. No big changes, just other than the number of hours this year, we just scale back on certain topics.
Do I have a motion to approve this mental health training plan?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the mental health training plan for 24-25.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Any questions, comments?
I guess my concern was, is this vector training as effective as some other trainings we might start using?
Well, they're updated yearly to, so they're not exactly the same videos, all of them. And so they are updated. And we had some new Title IX requirements that were coming through. We're utilizing Vector to meet those needs. It's a really good way to kind of get it consistently out to all the people. Of course, there are better ways to do that. But this is the way that the state has kind of said most districts are meeting this goal. Yeah. I look to make sure that we have other opportunities for staff, but I don't know that we can effectively get every staff member without the use of something like this. Our insurance pays for it, our insurance. Yeah, it's about a $15,000 program. Not for the first year, so then they want to pick up. It's a good option for us.
I like the flexibility of it. I was just concerned about, when I do Zoom, sometimes I have to go get that extra cup of coffee. I have to
Well,
visit
and
the
a lot of
bathroom
them are
more
about
often, you
like
know.
15 to 30 minutes. They're not just few, they're in chunks. And so it does stop and ask you questions to make sure you're still awake. And the teacher has like their little paint that like looks over the walls and everything to make sure the videos are compliant with current laws.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Next, we've got the Louisiana State University MOU.
So this is the LSU MOU that, Ms. Jones, you were thinking about. We have, a social work intern who has interned with us for her undergraduate, and she is currently pursuing her master's degree and wished to come back to work with us again. And her internship will be $40 a week through at least December, and depending on the course, it may be longer. But she's doing a fully online program, and we just would like to post her if you agree. And Mr. Johnson reviewed this and the agreement as well.
This is just a 1 year, right?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the Louisiana State MOU?
I move we approve the MOU from Louisiana State University.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Oh, thank you. Then we've got the MOU for pre-employment transition services.
Ash Developmental Day too.
Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Ash Developmental Day. I got ahead of myself. Back up. I know Terry's name didn't pop up. I went back. My apologies.
It's okay.
Okay, well, just don't move when you get done. Go ahead.
I asked that this be moved out of the consent agenda because my computer, and I've tried every trick that I know, probably Amy could have helped me, but I could not see the entire contract. It cut off the side of the page. And so it was very weird looking and I could not read all of it. And I just wondered if what was different about it or what was, it just cuts it off. And I've tried resizing the page. I've done everything, but I can't see everything that's on there. And it seemed to be missing some key information.
Ms. Ward had the same problem. She emailed me and we uploaded it. I could see the full contract, but I don't know what the problem was, so we re-uploaded it and that's the newest uploaded one. And there is nothing changed. That Ash Developmental Day has been a long-standing developmental day program for our students. The state requires us to have to send our students that are developmental delay for preschool to a developmental day center before they come to the school system. We get the funds because they come from DPI and we just turn right around and filter it straight through to Ash Developmental Day. They pay for all the services that the students require. They have 4 students this year. They set the number of students they will serve, and then we prorate. When I complete the grant, we prorate salaries, including and add our related service, PTO, speech and language services, to see how much each student it costs to serve those students, and they've always been under what we are allowed to give them, $13.50 a month per child. And they also are allowed to double dip with NC Pre if they're 4 years old, if they're NC Pre-K students to get additional funds.
So we pay them $13.50 a month per child?
Yes.
Any questions for Ms. Richardson?
I apologize for you not being able to see that.
It may be sometimes when it's a Word document on the MacBook, sometimes.
I changed it to a PDF.
Okay, yeah.
It's very sexualized and it gives me all.
It is a state contract. I
we
use what
can
the
hear.
state gives us to utilize, and I did not send this to Mr. Johnson this year, but he has approved the same identical contract in the years past because it is a state contract.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Ash Developmental Day contract?
I make a motion that we approve the Ash Developmental Day contract.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you for doing that. I apologize for not having already read all of it.
All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you much. And I guess you're still up. MOU for pre-employment transitions.
We have done this MOU for years also. It is through Watauga Opportunities. They have a person that's assigned to our high school to work with our students that are in OCS that are required to get 600 training hours before they graduate. It's part of their contract in order to graduate with a diploma. They help with finding employment outside of school to use their hours. They help with shadowing the students that need to be shadowed. They help with transportation. They also work collaboratively with the OCS team in order for students to get the best opportunity and the opportunity in which the student is interested in.
Now, this is an outside agency.
It's the Watauga Opportunities. We have a state contract with Watauga Opportunities that we're mandated to maintain. They did switch presidents this year, and I've been waiting on that contract. We have to pay roughly about $3,600 to $3,900 when we collaborate with Watauga and probably Allegheny to hold that contract, but we're mandated by the state federal guidelines to be able to do.
So how is this different from those service contracts that we decided that we did not want in school
Because it's state mandated that we have to have this.
from this company?
Yes.
That they make
it's
money off of it.
Rehabilitation, it's about the Rehabilitation Act. And we have to use Watauga Opportunity because they're the only vocational rehabilitation act supports the Vocational Rehabilitation Act in our area.
We have over 100 students who are not being served now in different areas because of that were served last year because of that policy. And it's
Not under
very.
this topic right now. I'll entertain a motion to approve the MOU for pre-employment transition.
Move we employ that we approve the MOU for pre-employment transition services.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we've got on the agenda, the board will go into the closed session. We will probably have a recess for about 10 minutes to let everybody have time. Closed session will be talking about learning through play lease as well as Ashe County Middle School.
There's a discussion about Terry. The discussion about. I'll write about her, but yes. That's all.